Right. Hello everyone, and welcome to the Balls and Panzer show. Today we'll be doing a sit down with a few of my foolish friends over here. You can see they're wearing their United colors, you know. So basically today, what we'll be doing, we'll be asking them on their thoughts about their team and their transfer activity. So to start things off, I think we'll just introduce, for those people that don't know, that one there we call him News. And this is in the middle, this is Dex. And we're our main instigator over here, Josh.
Peace and love.
Alright, gents, first things first. What were your thoughts on United's season performance last season?
Last season.
What is it like last season? The team, not just Oli, whether you support Oli or not, the team.
From my perspective, we did very decent considering looking at what Ole done. I think he did quite a good job, especially if you consider what we've been doing this season. The team was a lot more convincing in terms of the way we are playing. It was a good finish, I think. It was a tough one. I don't think we expected to get top 4 at one point. Yet we ended up in the top 4, which was good, which is what we needed. We never expected to win the league at all. So I think on that, I would say it was a good season considering what we've been having over the past few years. And the guys actually did play decent football. It was pleasing to watch United towards the end of last season, especially. You could watch a game and be happy.
Dex?
I think to add on to what he said, for me also, it showed what can happen when you get your when you get your signings right. If you get the right man in, the difference it can make, as opposed to just going out and
Signing anyone.
If your recruitment is right, it can be a huge benefit to the team. I don't think we expected halfway through the season for us to finish top 4, the gap that we were on. I think we were a bit lucky in a sense that the other teams fell off. But that's not our concern. We just needed to win our games, which we did. So I think it was a decent end to a season.
Didn't start well, but you'll end it off. I think after the restart, you'll definitely want the best team after the restart.
Yeah. I hope we can restart again.
Only 4 games.
After the national break.
That's what we have to do. So see back to see.
Oh, no, for me, that league they said after lockdown will be first. I want that league back. I'd enjoy that league. But like personally, after coming back from loan from Leicester in January.
But you just might have loans every
No, previously,
Second loan.
Game time wasn't
Like all the Chelsea players.
Yeah.
See, this always got a span of loans, bro.
No, this is my second loan deal. But the English window's still open. So I can still go. Yeah, I'm still with my parent club at the moment. But after I came back from loan, they were buzzing. I think Bruno brought me back. I saw that he's gonna take us places, and he did, if you look at it. And I think him coming in gave everybody freedom. It was like, hey, this how he's here, let's play.
But that Alexis Sanchez is supposed to do when he first came
Exactly, it was like that spark, just to get us.
Just enjoy that one, boy. Just look at us, well, Dick, you come in the first thing to Arsenal with Sanchez.
When you're Tosha winning the league.
Look what Todd
They're running.
Look what
Sylvester?
See now that you can have a different view from our
It's just business. It's just business.
I invested!
Why, Dada, why?
This is business.
This is my sweat.
I know, but I did business.
Shut up! Shut up!
This is business.
Hey!
I invested the money.
Stop talking! I will kill you!
Sorry, sir.
Hey! Dada, why?
Business.
Oh.
Oh no. But I think personally, from the outside, I think Bruno signing brought in a lot of United fans from out the woodwork. Like everyone is talking.
Yeah, like me.
A lot of people have loan spells to Leicester and wherever, supporting City because Liverpool were on top. A lot of United fans came out after Bruno signing. So I think definitely after the restart, like you said, the better team was United. I know you want to restart now, we can't do that, as you know.
I hope there's a second wave or something.
It actually is, there are 10 players in the league tested positive.
Just seems positive on the United. Is there a way for Maguire to stay positive?
Now I'm panicking.
Don't panic.
No, I am because I'm going to lose my job.
But was you panicking?
I'm going to ask you again.
That's a lot of mistakes. That is a lot of mistakes.
So if you had to pick a player, like your favourite player from last season for United, you just going with Bruno?
I think it's unanimous.
If Bruno didn't come, there's anyone else besides
I'd say Martial. Because considering he was injured for like 2 months.
Best goal return in the season.
And then,
also.
yeah.
I think I called Fred.
Yeah, I was
Lucky
also
announce is not here. First statements, huh?
I was also gonna say Bruno would I think is by far was the best because of his goals
Impact.
and his what he did in the games that he was there. I think Fred was a very good player in terms of what he gave us. Scott McTominay as well, he did a lot of hard groundwork when he was called upon. So for me those would be some players I would say have been were very good.
Also, any of us want to say David?
David De Gea.
Get him out.
He can't be worse than Maguire though. I don't think he's worse. Like, I'm glad you'll know what it's like. Like I went through Mustafi. Now you'll know exactly what
But
that's
the
like.
thing is, Mustafi won a World Cup. That's understandable.
None of that man nearly took England's World Cup alone. They were singing it's coming home simply because of Sam.
For me, I knew England wouldn't go far in the World Cup because of their run. They only had easy fixtures. They won hard fixture the whole World Cup. They got knocked out. So I
but
wasn't
even in their honest fixture,
They were winning it.
if Harry Kane squares the ball, they
Just
through.
starting it through. Through slap
So you
almost
can't say
lifted
that,
that trophy, bro.
No.
They were Harry Kane away from the final.
So what's talking now?
If they left him on the bench,
Let's not go into the Spurs thing, I think. We all know where I stand at Spurs, bro. But
best team in London. Come on, you Spurs!
now that I take you serious, bro, who even says Spurs are the biggest team in that? Or even Spurs even a big team, bro, considering Mourinho's bigger in the
Wait,
team.
you will see
Yeah,
this
she is bigger in
season
the team.
when they walk in Arsenal.
Never. It's time to party, but right. Besides, before your transfer window closed, what were your objectives?
The answer is no. We're not happy.
What were your objectives for the club? In
Our
terms of
objectives,
what were you hoping for the team?
They
to
didn't
achieve?
get anything we were hoping for.
Besides the players, in terms of like league position, challenging, what were you thinking going off where you ended last season? Like you said, the best team after restarts. What were you thinking or
I
hoping
think
for?
if you're looking at it in that aspect, the best team after lockdown. I think if I was the manager or if I was on the board or whatever, in your head, it's realistic to say, you know what, if we get the right players in, we can really close the gap on the others that were on top. We can make a challenge. If we're not going to challenge, we're going to get very, very close to winning the title. That should have been the objective. That's the way I looked at it. Because United had the money. United got the money.
Maybe it was the objective, but I don't think they went about it the right
For
way.
me, our new signings are gonna make us finish lower. That's how I feel. Because you got quality,
I
we signed
can't wait for
quality.
Cavani to miss.
His first
Send him in
one-on-one,
wide.
yeah.
So my thing is, you got players in, you got starting players. You never get players that are gonna add depth to the squad or anything. With Donny as our starting
He's not
player,
a bench player.
he should start. And now my thing is, when you do that with a manager that does not know how to manage, you're messing things up. Because now you're gonna bench Martial, whose confidence was a man that plays with confidence.
Just at his
He
best
plays
season.
with confidence when he's playing. So now he's gonna have one bad game. You're gonna take him off. You're gonna play Cavani 3 games. Cavani's gonna score 1 in 3, and then he's gonna start another 6 games because he scored 1 in 3, and then Martial's going to be on the bench, and then
I think for
then
me,
with the midfield, it just messes. He does. For me, I need a new manager.
The same question that I asked.
It's time to go!
for me, I look at it this way: is that we had a problem of squad depth, right? And I feel like we still have a problem of squad depth after our transfer window. Our back line, we have 3 centre backs. We all know we have 3 centre backs.
Oh,
Who's the 4th?
Phil Jones.
So we have 3 centre backs. also two is okay. But what I'm saying is, the players that I'm not talking about on our books. Our manager showed us that we have 3 centre backs.
Yeah.
What our manager showed, I'm looking at what he's wild to since he's been there.
Yeah.
We've had 3 centre backs, and we never went up. Those 3 centre backs, they all look unsure. I really think Bailly is good, but Bailly is always injured. In all honesty, it's not back in full fitness. Whenever he comes back, it takes him a while. So you can't rely on him at the moment. Yet, those problems we had, we went into this season again with the exact same thing.
Problems.
He signed Igalo last season, never played Igalo much. Went to buy another striker after Martial had his best season. I'm not saying that.
And after signing Igalo on a permanent,
After-
or you extended the loan.
Goals in January.
Yeah. So
Yes, maybe
it's
that's
a thing of okay, your system plays one
Long
striker.
time, no long time.
Your system plays one striker. So now, what are you saying? Is Martial going to go back to a wide player? Which is not a problem. But Martial gave you his best season up front. Rashford is terrible, but we insist Rashford has to play now because we didn't buy anyone to play ahead of Rashford. We got Dan James who's starting now, and we're going to leave that one there. Right? We went to go buy Donny van der Beek. I feel like it's a very good sign, but it's not what we need because our midfield wasn't the biggest problem. I look at Arsenal paid 45 mil for Thomas Partey. We paid 40 mil for Donny van der Beek. We need a defensive midfielder more than we need an attacking
And
midfielder.
9 for that, for
That's-
Pastore or
Yeah,
something.
that spaghetti
Yeah.
signing. That pasta signing. Yeah. So for me, it's the way the money was used was unnecessary. We bought a left back. Not our biggest area of need. I'm not saying we don't need a new left back. Not our biggest area of need. We're still playing David De Gea, yet we got one of the keepers who was the best performer last season.
And he saved us in the.
And you're not letting the other one go.
So this is the problem with now we're still playing. I really like Matic, but he's out. His legs is not the same. We're still playing. We're still trying to force those other people to play. Yet we let someone like Thomas Partey go to a club like Arsenal for 5 mil more than Donny van der Beek. Where that's the type of player we probably needed behind Pogba and behind Bruno Fernandes or behind Donny van der Beek, whoever's going to play. So the depth problem that we have is still a depth problem that we have.
So if you were in Ollie's position, who would your starting 11 be? Now that the transfer window's closed, you'll know you're not happy with the way it's done. Who was your starting 11?
Start with me.
I'll start. Anyone wants to start?
I'll start. Left back, Telles. Left centre back, Marcus Rojo. Next to him, Eric Bailly. And then Aaron Wan-Bissaka on the right. But
Who you playing in the net spot?
that's a coin toss for me. That's a coin.
Between who was you've got 3 very good keepers.
Now, for me, yes, boss.
He's
Rojo won
Yes,
us.
Rojo's still a player, bro.
He's on loan. We can bring him
Yes.
back. Just like
He's
me.
not alone, he's back.
He's back. Why you don't play? Why you just
The man
don't
is
throw him
reckless,
against
boy.
Newcastle?
Take Salah's leg, man.
Since I don't know what formation I play in.
The
So
midfield really ruins it for you. You got too many.
we got, for me, McTominay is still learning that holding midfield role. So I'll come back to midfield. Up front, it's Greenwood, Greenwood, Cavani, and Martial on the left. Because Rashford, I personally
This
think.
man don't like Cavani and he just threw him
I
there.
think I don't know because I think Rashford. I think Rashford's better down the middle. I honestly think Rashford's better down the middle, and on the wing I think Martial's better than
Can Rashford.
Rashford on the wing. But then-
both had their best seasons in other positions.
No, Rashford never that. He had most goals, this is most goals, but when he was injured, when Martial was injured, he was playing down the middle. So, and I think Rashford from the right is much better than Rashford from the left. So him coming on for Greenwood in that situation would be fine. But then I think I'd go Fred Holding, centre mid. I'd play 4-3-3 obviously, and then Fred Holding and then Bruno and Pogba up front. And I know.
So Donny doesn't make the team at all.
I think.
No, you can't reverse usage your team.
No, I'm not gonna put him
Say
in.
no.
I'm saying why Donny wouldn't go. I don't think if you're playing Pogba in an attacking role, I think he's better than Donny if he's playing attacking. So the way I want Pogba to play, which is attacking, and I know I've said in the past, is he can play a hole in. I know I said he can play a hole in.
No, we'll get back to
I
it,
was
because
wrong.
see that ready for
I was wrong.
Anything with
Wait,
is
Josh
bad.
just said it.
The only thing-
Wait. I need you to direct that at the camera so we get that.
No, he can play there, but he's not that good. He's not his best position. You don't get the best Pogba in that position. And as I said, and as I've seen, he gives the ball
Too many times.
away too many times. I've seen that. But the best hole in is wrong hole in.
Okay, my team. Emerson in the nets. Wan-Bissaka, right back. Tellers, left back. I'd go with Bai,
And Axel.
and Townsend.
So Lindelof hasn't featured at all. Maguire.
Call Nats if you want
Reynolds.
Lindelof.
Oh, that man's definitely
In
going to
the
be
center, I go the same similar formation of 4-3-3. In the center, I would go Fred, Van der Beek, and Bruno. And
Pogba striker.
no,
out.
almost out. The same front three that Josh mentioned. Just I would play them a little tighter
Closer together.
and not that those always go so wide.
Especially with Tillies.
I think Cavani is a 50-50 for me. He's either gonna have a worldie of a season,
Obviously, he's a hit striker.
or else he's gonna have a tier one. So, but I still put him there because
You
the man's a proven goal
on his
scorer.
day, he can do it much
He's a
better.
proven goal scorer.
Give him
But this is-
71 chances, he scores 5.
No,
If it was five, it'd be crucial ones. You need 3 points for the Champions League. Cavani comes up with a goal.
I think I put Van der Beek ahead of Pogba based solely on his appearances this season versus
And the way he
Pogba's
moves the
appearances. The man's passing ability, the short one touch, he doesn't need 101 touches. Pogba always gonna hold the ball and look at you and stand
not
and
none.
put his hand in.
Not.
No. Van der Beek's busy with the small touches. I think we all know we've all played ball. A midfielder that can touch the ball once and move
Makes it
as
better.
a midfielder you don't want to play against. Especially partnering with Bruno, I think that would work for United. So yeah, that's my 11.
With regards to my 11, I'd probably start Dean Henderson in the net. My left back, I would start Tellers based on what we've seen in his previous club. It's actually sad for me to say I'd start him. I'm dropping Shaw yet. Our centre backs are our biggest issue, but I would start Tellers.
Just because you got the quality
Yeah.
that you're playing.
And then I'd have Wan-Bissaka. I would put Bai and Lindelof together. I would. I feel like
makes a feature.
I feel like they've played together and it's been better than anyone with Maguire.
No,
So-
no beef for them.
So,
I just
I feel like what we have, Lindelof last season was very, very decent. You must remember that we had a good run. Lindelof was he was very decent. So that's why I play Lindelof and Bai. So my midfield, I'd probably put McTominay with Bruno and Van der Beek also. I feel like Pogba ruins the flow of the game.
I think with
Too
Pogba,
often.
he's more of a player that wants to start the play, and Van der Beek's a player that fits into the play and he gets the play moving.
And I feel like our front line players are good, so they don't always need someone who disrupts that flow. Pogba wants to hold on too long. When you got front players who got the speed that our front players have, you can't afford that to have this player who's going to hold on to the ball all the time and disrupt their runs. Because by the time Pogba decides he's making a pass with dribbling, the defense is back and it's killing everything. So it would be McTominay for the legs and the shift that he puts in and the aggressive side of his game. And then I would put Van der Beek and Bruno. Up front, I would start Rashford on my right hand side. I would have Martial on my left and Cavani up front. Reason being, we also have a depth problem. And I feel like Greenwood is someone who can help with that. Because we do know he can play off wide and he can play up front. If you have an issue, you can bring him on. In comparison to, I don't feel like Rashford ever comes into a game well.
Yeah.
He doesn't come into a game well. And I feel like Martial needs to start the game because then he needs to decide what mood is in. Martial is a very moody player. And you could either get the best from him or you could get the worst from him. And having someone like Greenwood to come off the bench would be positive. And that's why I feel like having that type of lineup would be best. Cavani, as we said, he can score a lot of goals for you or he can be the biggest disappointment in your club. But I feel that he has a lot of striking ability in terms of strength, actually being a striker, trying to be in the box all the time. Yeah, as I said earlier, is that I would have preferred us to have like a Raul Jimenez because I felt like him and Martial, even though they scored the same numbers this season, he's more of a striker. He's more of a target man than Martial is. He's proven in the Premier. He's more of a, and I feel like Martial is not. I still don't look at him as a striker. He has got his best numbers. Okay, he had a good season last season. I'm not taking that away from him. I still feel that he'll get you maybe at a better season. He'll get you maybe 3 goals short of that off the left also. And I feel like he lacks something as a striker.
And I think what playing him on the left and having Tillers on the left as well will allow him to get in more central positions also. So he doesn't have to stay on the left because we have an outlet on the left because Tillers is just gonna run up and down every week. So and as you're saying with the depth, I think if we got, I'm not saying Pogba to sit on the bench the whole season, but if we in a game and we 1-0 down and we bring Pogba and Greenwood off from the bench, that's dangerous.
Quality of it. So what's the
dangerous.
I also feel I wish that Ole could play Dan James with the left. Because we've seen Dan James with the left. We've seen him. I think every game he's played first off the left, he's been good. And then to accommodate people like Rashford, who's been terrible, we play Dan James with the right now. And I think that's a bit.
I think Dan James is also a perfect squad player. It's similar to what Madrid have with Hesse with Lucas Vazquez.
Yeah.
He's a player that might not start, but if your first team doesn't perform, he's always someone that can come off the bench with impact.
Yeah.
I think that's what Dan James is.
If you're looking for someone who's aggressive in the center, Phil Jones.
I want to play Marcus Rashford in the center.
We just edit that part.
So Slab didn't feature at all.
Out Brexit. You must go.
It was what Maguire Wada said to you about coaches and systems. I feel like Brendan Rodgers has showed that he did the exact same thing with Soyuncu now. That his system and the way he sets up can make the players in the back look very good.
He made the team of the season, Soyuncu.
I think it's Evans. Because Soyuncu looks, I'm not saying Soyuncu's bad, but Soyuncu next to Evans, world beater.
I think
Maguire next to Evans, 80 million. I think we should have signed Evans rather than Maguire.
I don't think it's Evans. I think that even if you bring
I think there's a lot to what Moose is saying in terms of style of play.
Yeah.
I just want to ask Josh, did you cry when we sold Evans?
No.
So you can't really compare.
No, but I'm saying
Evans
also
has a stress face while he plays.
I think Evans is the type of player that plays better when he's not under pressure. He's proven better because somehow Leicester, we can always say Leicester doesn't have the same amount of pressure as United.
They have a good
Leicester,
side.
after when Evans went to them, Evans was at West Brom, bro. He's coming off, he knows this is his next best, it's his last team. He knows after this I'm done, he's not gonna be under constant pressure to perform. It's just done.
With United this season, I'm very shocked as to why Ole never at least gave Smalling a chance.
He had a very good season.
With the season that he had in Italy, I think Smalling should have also been given a chance to see if he can.
You know why? I can tell you why.
Player decision.
Because Smalling is the only centre back that people want to buy. That's why. Which other centre backs of United people want to buy? Nobody else. And
but you're talking about buying now.
That's my thing, is because the board controls our team.
That's another issue I was gonna say, because if you look at speaking from my club and what we've seen at Arteta, he has a lot to deal with transfers, and you see him being there with Edu in all the plans. He's listed players, and he doesn't want alternatives. Now you said Cavani was never ever
Apparently,
listed. Never ever listed.
he didn't get any of the players he wanted.
But that's what I'm saying, like it comes down to the interaction between the board and the manager. Either they support him and let him tell him exactly which players he wants, and they do that there, because you've seen Arteta goes and he said, we all know from the beginning of the thing, we were linked to Partey and I was crying for Asim. He didn't get him, but we got Thomas. So at least one of the players he wanted, he got. He still also got Gabriel, we said in the beginning, that's who he wanted. So if you look at other clubs, Jurgen Klopp didn't buy until Thiago became available, until Jota became available. That's definitely the board supporting the manager. At United, we always lean towards Sancho. Besides that, I don't know too many players that United were linked to. Is that also now just the manager saying?
No, I think that's because they don't have a director of football.
Because he bought. That's also a good thing.
He's going to have Ed Woodward running things. I don't understand how clubs have in a position like that. You can't put an owner that doesn't know anything about football, never played football. You can't put a businessman there because he's going to make business decisions.
And that's what he's been.
He's not going to make football decisions, and that's. You look at Arsenal over the years, in the latter parts of Wenger's career, they were a business. They weren't a football club. They were worried about making marcha. The man was making Champions League. So, hundreds. We're going to roll with these old, yeah?
The Churus
and them. We're going to roll with them because we're not...
Let's keep the business happening.
Now they need to get back to the top, so now you're going to start making football decisions. They linked Van der Sar with the job. Give the man a job, the man comes from United, he plays for United, the man knows football.
Just look at how smooth it is when you have a director of football, because he was the director of football at Ajax, and we got the Van de Beek deal done in 2 days.
Yeah.
And that just shows you, it took us...
But also plays a big part, because you've seen, Edu also spoke to Gabriel, spoke to Willian.
Yeah.
Those are players that have interactions with him. He knows them personally.
Yeah.
Who does Ed Woodward know personally besides saying, I'm giving you certain amounts of money?
And besides that aspect, the way I look at it, Van der Sar, being a former footballer, he understands that United is a step up
and he
from
achieved
Ajax.
United. He definitely achieved the same thing.
He wants for his player the best. So you know what? It's a step up. You're going to earn more matcha. But besides that, you're going to further your career. So, go. Now, the other way around, Ed Woodward is thinking, hey, how much matcha I can make off this deal? So, I think that's the biggest problem at United. And I don't care who comes in. They can bomb Ole tomorrow and bring Pochettino or whoever in. The same thing's going to happen. You'll have what?
One good season.
You'll have like that Bruno effect. If a new manager comes in, a respectable manager comes in, let's say Ole gets bombed, Poch comes in, all the players will play for like 3 months, 4 months, and then back to the same, because the structure behind them is not hundreds.
So if you had a choice, who would you have signed? Going off what you did last season, who would you have signed? If Ed Woodward came to you and said, you can sign whoever you want, there's a certain amount of money, who were the players you were going to bring in? And it's just misses like no one else besides those players. You don't want alternatives like Cavani or other lights.
Raúl Jimenez was on top of my list. Number 1 as a striker, that would have been the first player out of boards. I would have probably went for Partey too.
I think we needed a fetcher. We needed a dog in the midfield. We didn't have any bites at all.
We definitely needed a centre back. I know we were linked to it. They linked us with everyone. We probably still linked to Robinho. As Upamecano, I would have liked it. I do get very judgmental about players from outside the league. But I feel like what players outside the league is being looking as one of the best. So I would have taken a chance with the money and then to go spend the money and see what he can bring. Because from watching him in the Champions League, he definitely looks like a force.
He's been playing for France now as well.
He definitely looks like a force. So I would have went for him. I would have also added depth wide. Like I was saying, I would have liked someone like Douglas Costa as a number.
What a sign.
Because Douglas Costa, I don't look at him, he hasn't been a starting player wherever he's been, and I really think he's good. And with the way our front three performed, I don't feel like we should take them away from the front foot, but we should have people on the bench who are challenging them. And I feel like Douglas Costa could have added that. He wouldn't have come expensive. So I think that would have been 3 signings.
Even a loan for
Yeah.
Douglas. I mean, Douglas was Bellerin, we've all seen how
Yeah.
that one turned out.
I feel like he would have brought something different in terms of Douglas Costa is very direct in the way that he plays. So I feel like having a solid striker as a Jimenez who's always in the box, with someone so direct as another option would have been quality.
Dex, who would you have signed?
I think definitely a striker. I think that's why with the Cavani deal I wasn't so worried about it or annoyed at it, is because we needed a striker. I think because the way I looked at it, there's no way that Igalo was going to get a fair run at starting at United. He was
He's not really competing in Martial.
Basically, what United did with Ricardo was fulfill a make-a-wish
Yeah,
promise.
he's always going to sort of bench. And I think we all know from playing football, when you are guaranteed to start,
Takes a
when you
push.
know
You don't push
I'm
yourself
gonna
as
play,
much.
you're not gonna get the best out of you. You're always gonna be a 70 or 80%. And I think Martial, knowing he's gonna start every week, the man, he showed us in the first 3 games of the season, the man was absolutely nowhere. He was literally, we were playing with no one up front. So a striker was definitely needed to push in. I think I wouldn't have went for a world-class striker though. I think, like Rose was saying, Raul Nunes is a good striker, but he's not someone who's going to come and say, I need to play every week because of the money that I'm earning.
He's not a player that's been like a 60 million.
When you pay Cavani over 200,000 a week, the man must play. So it can have adverse effects on Martial. I think a central defensive midfielder also. I think I would even try to take Kante from Chelsea. They didn't look like they really wanted him. I think I would have taken him from there. Or,
there was a lot of links surprisingly
him,
in Kante.
him or Wilfred Ndidi from Leicester. And then as the Open Makano one, yeah, I wouldn't say no to that deal either. And I think I also would have signed a left back. I think Shaw has shown that he can't play a full season. As much as he's been decent, he can't play a full season. He always gets injured. And I don't like playing a right-footed left back. As decent as Brandon Williams is,
He'll always be a right-footed.
he's right-footed. So he's always going to have problems adjusting to the position. So yeah, those would have been my signings. And also going out, I think I would have sold Paul Pogba.
We spoke about Real Madrid again. So.
I think it's United's biggest headache in the sense that we always try, as Luz pointed out in the week last week, we always try to accommodate him.
You got Pogba,
he's playing terrible, but also is giving you something.
I'm saying similar issues, like you're building a team around us. So
you can sit with every United fan in the world and ask them, since Pogba's how many years has he been at United? We can't say what the man has really done.
Darren Fletcher's did more than Pogba.
And for the margin that we paid for him, and now his contract's going to be up for renewal. Is going to earn more margin.
Big
I think we should cut some losses and sell it all.
I don't.
You like him, that's why he's your favourite player in the team, bro.
But I agree with all the signings I said. I full of signings. The only thing I still want Sancho. I still think he's.
I don't think Sancho made sense considering Greenwood's performance. And considering that Greenwood in a few years is Sancho. Is Sancho what you're looking at? Probably even better in terms of goal.
Greenwood at the end of the season is Sancho.
But Greenwood is a striker, that's my thing.
I disagree with that strongly.
Where you saw him play striker?
No, coming up he's been a striker.
Yeah, where in serious football, like it's something I said the other day is that we can say anyone's anything. If they played in the academy ranks, it doesn't count.
You've seen so many players that started off as strikers, make the first team as centre backs.
I mean, like Aaron Wan-Bissaka who started off as a right winger.
Yeah. Are we gonna say no? We don't need another right winger. We got a winger in Bissaka.
He's the cover.
And New Valencia.
Yeah, what happens in the academy ranks don't count. It's Martial came. Martial was a striker when he came to United. We bought him as a striker.
And this is his first season as a striker.
But now are we going to argue and say he's a left winger? Mason Greenwood has been playing off the right. That's all we saw. We cannot say he's a striker. Until he gives us even half a season as a striker, gives us striker goals, he's not a striker.
But my thing is, if we get Sancho, Greenwood's a player that can play anywhere across the front three.
Anyone can play across the front three except Cavani.
That's a good point because Rashford, you were just talking.
Dan James scored.
Put
You
Rashford
see
at
Dan
right.
James on the right.
Yeah, but
But
Dan
he's
James
playing
is not a
there.
starter.
And he's playing there.
You're talking about bringing in someone to start now.
The Sancho one never really made
The
sense.
Sancho
personally.
one for me was
I think it was more of
So
a.
much Martial.
He came from Manchester. We missed out on him once when he went to City. City lost him. This might be our best chance to get him back. To do 1-0 on City.
For me, I feel like our front three did well last season, right?
Especially with the
They
service
are,
man.
they are young. Right, Martial are not the youngest anymore, but they are of a decent age, so they're gonna
They're reaching their prime.
they're reaching their prime years. You don't want to get someone who is gonna ruin that for them. Let them keep growing in the club. But now you're gonna get someone else to replace someone who's developing with someone who's developing. It doesn't make sense to me. Like you're buying a young person to replace a young person. So how do they both develop? Get someone senior, let them learn. Look at what Chelsea did with the Thiago Silva signing as an example. They got younger centre backs in the fold. Bring someone senior. I'm not saying Thiago Silva is way better than the centre backs. Give him a sport. Let them learn. Let them learn from someone.
That's what we're doing with Cavani.
Like Cavani Martial will learn a lot from him in terms of being a predator.
Positioning and
Must.
stuff like that. Small stuff that you miss out
Like
on.
even
depending
a
on the league.
Perisic, to come in, because you must remember how much more will Perisic will Greenwood learn from Perisic. They're almost the same. They both can use both their legs. You learn so much more from him than you learn from an Alighty. Alighty then he goes and competes.
So
with
then
companies.
Benitez gonna probably
compete with
drinking with the
Sancho.
same and then get kicked out.
Goal is like you said.
Yeah. I'm going drinking with the man and then both our players are out. Then we must play Dan James off the right again.
Yeah.
Oh. But anything else you want to touch on as fans?
Yeah.
Kai Havertz isn't that good. I just want to say it. I'll say it every episode.
Besides Kai Havertz, nothing else.
I think if United don't get it right soon,
Do you see Ole getting bombed this season?
Yeah, boy.
I think if it gets
Considering the quality he has. do you see
Once
season
the
getting
fans come back into the stadium, Oli will not last long.
I think he could get bombed. But what I was gonna say was, I think if they don't get it right very soon, as in Newcastle next week, they don't start picking up wins,
Relegation.
they're gonna struggle to get in the top 6.
And it's the same thing I said, when you start the season, like considering why I went into the Liverpool game and I said I can take a L, that's because we got wins before that. And I knew we were going into one more game which we should win against Sheffield, and we did. Not the prettiest win, but we did. Now if you take that into account, that's 3 wins and 1 loss. You're sitting at 9 points. The other teams that have struggled,
Back
you're looking
to
at you got like how many points left, and how you going into a competitive phase now. You're going into Champions League.
Yeah.
That squad, you're just talking about depth now.
Stretched now.
So you're talking about going into the most difficult fixtures now, off the back of not getting points when you could have probably get the easiest points.
There's pressure now.
There's much more pressure now.
I feel like I feel like Ole won't get bombed, number one, right? I feel like the supporters are getting to a point where they realize where the actual issue is. Everyone's realized where the issue is, and funny enough, I feel like we're still gonna make top 4, and it's gonna, by the time the end of the season comes, it's gonna like
All Bruno's pins will come in handy.
we got a team who's they capable quality wise of getting results, and other teams will start slow backing off, they'll start dropping some points. Very good start to the season, but I feel like Leeds gonna get to a point where they're starting to get the wins. So they finish top 10. I feel like they'll finish top 10 even, but they're gonna get to a point where it starts hitting a straight line for them. But United's gonna get your wins. They're gonna run 4 games, lose 2, 5 games.
What you've done after the restart.
I feel like they'll get to a point that we're going to finish 4th, we'll just make it, and it'll seem like, oh, decent season because we're comparing it to the way we started. So, Ole might not get bombed now, but if the board don't change by that time, next season for sure, he'll be gone.
But my thing is with the I think the way I see it is the reason why you could get bombed is because the transfer window is closed. There's nothing you can do. So it's up to the players and the managers at this point in time. And I think if we see the team is not working before January, if the run of fixtures are terrible, then I think he'd get bombed. But if they put a good run together and then we get to January and then because the transfer window is open again and then we don't get, because we're gonna see what we need over the next 3 months. So in January, if we don't straighten those positions,
We really know what we need. Something in pen.
that too. Alright, we know we need a set. So in January, if we don't get that, then I think then he'll stay.
But
20 seconds into the competitive fixture.
United,
Straight for Bruno.
United's very silly because in January we're gonna go make a big signing. It's a normal United
Panic
thing.
buying.
We're gonna go make
Sancho.
two panic buy. We'll drop 100 million on Sancho in January. That's the way United behaves. And then what's gonna happen? It's gonna come. It's gonna change the perspective of the club. There, we come, we finish fourth. Oh, good season. We don't buy again. We buy rubbish the next transfer window again. That's what.
In January, we got
happening.
that other lighty coming through from Atalanta. That Diaz.
Yeah, you
Amad
see,
Diallo.
that shows you our transfer.
But I think with him, I don't think we get Sancho because he's a
He's a
winger.
right winger. He's coming in. So that's Sancho
And
Diaz.
then Palestri lights is a winner.
Which is very rare considering you need depth in the back. That you've made so many signings going forward.
And that's not surprising though.
Vibes. Let's score 5 and 5.
I say
Good sign a long time.
I can say against City we played Pogba, Bruno, and Tony against City. Vibes. So let them have fun. Knock. But imagine. I know defensively.
He's just banking on Sterling hitting it over the bar. That's what he's doing.
That's literally what I'm doing. But I say if those 3 hours play,
No.
I'm happy with those to play.
No.
I want those to play.
With Pogba giving the ball away.
Okay. I say for some games we play with a diamond in the middle, and I think all 3 of those can play.
I disagree.
I say
Maybe when they'll be playing Fulham.
You know what?
West Brom.
No.
You know what? When I've watched them play, why I would say put Van der Beek and those 3 hours, even a Maxwell as you said, is because those 3 hours are
Complement
able
each other.
to press in the middle. And now if I go there, you're gonna come here. We've seen Van der Beek when he's playing, go and look, press and look behind. So where's the next man possible?
Yeah,
We've
Bruno,
seen
that's what
Bruno
I'm
do
saying.
that.
Play with 4 in the
Put
middle.
those 2 hours in. No,
But
why are we?
it separates them more also.
Why are we trying to accommodate an old that is underperforming?
Because it cost 90 million.
You're
And
so
you can't take
Lukaku.
Maguire out.
You're so Lukaku.
No one.
You can't take Maguire
You can't deny that there's quality in Pogba.
Hey,
You
bro,
can't
see
deny
Maguire pull through for England, bro.
They say every person on this earth has quality.
No.
Even Jemba.
Except Maguire signed a contract for him. He was signing for 80 million, bro.
7
He
years.
was signing for 80 million, man.
For
Actually,
7
shown
years.
some quality.
For 7
We
years.
were happy when we bought Maguire. Let's not even lie.
We were.
After the World
bro.
Cup he had, I think
We
a lot of
were
fans were
amped.
very happy.
So Pogba has been performing. What good numbers has he given us?
No, Pogba needs to eat a hard bench.
I think I spoke to our text said again is that when you're a player that know you're going to start week in, week out, regardless of the nonsense you do you really push yourself? In a club that's not achieving,
Look, United
your career is not
supposed to, you see when
going
Pogba
forward
spoke
as
about Real Madrid, United supposed to retweet his tweets and excited and say
Yeah.
something exciting coming soon. Let him go. Like.
Look, let's be honest. The man's talking about Madrid now
again, yeah.
after these 3 games where United are looking serious. Before Bruno came, he was talking about Madrid. As soon as Bruno came and he saw, hey, you guys are playing, there was no talk of Madrid. He was, yeah, I'm United. So it shows. Let that man sit there and let Van der Beek come and play. Then he'll say, you know what, I need to do something in order to get back in the team. Because he knows he's an ego man. For him to get sold, he knows if Van der Beek's playing and he advises. He knows Evans is saying, you know what, you weren't good enough. But now we're going to keep playing this out because we paid 80-something million for him.
But I think
Now
that's
it's doing
I
utter
think
crap.
that's when you need a stronger manager. Oli doesn't have the personality to put Pogba on the bench.
Only want to smile all the time.
That's what I'm saying. Like even they were when we were losing 4-1 at halftime. Bruno went in and swore everyone.
Maguire in particular.
Swore everyone. Even
I need to keep that out.
that's what I'm saying. Oli doesn't have the
cojones.
cojones to go and take that armband off Maguire and put it on Bruno's arm. And
Nobody's trying to run with the same football nickname into managing. There's a babyface assassin as a footballer.
But
You
But
can't
now-
be babyface as a
manager, yeah.
It's maybe like the singer.
Yeah.
Soft.
So that's my thing, bro. That's what I'm saying. In terms of, even though the board is terrible, we know the board is terrible, we need a stronger manager who make those tough decisions. Or he's not going to make those tough decisions.